Hey guys, how's it going? Josue back again with another video, and today I want to talk about being selfish. I think selfish has a bad definition right now, along with so many other words. That's the problem with words, that's the problem with labels. Once we start using words and labels, they have definitions assigned to them, and then they have feelings assigned to them depending on our culture, where we come from, and our age. We all have different interpretations of these things, but we tend to all kind of focus on one interpretation and we go with it. And when it comes to being selfish, we see that as like a terrible, terrible, terrible thing. Like, you're so selfish. But in reality, I believe that many of us, like most of us, like when we are selfish, we're being selfish for the wrong reasons. I think if we're selfish for the right reasons, being selfish is actually a good thing. It's a self-sustaining thing. There's a reason why we care about ourselves. But where most of us mess up is the fact that we don't even know ourselves. We don't know ourselves. We don't know how to take care of ourselves. We don't know where we come from. We don't know what we're here to do. And many of us do not realize our connection to it all. We have no idea that we are connected to every single thing that we see. We have no idea that everything that we see is a reflection of us. We don't know that. We don't know the basics about ourselves. So when we try to be selfish, it ends up hurting us because we never actually take care of ourselves in the first place. When I talk about being selfish, like the good kind of selfish, is taking care of yourself so that you can take care of others. It's known that when you take care of yourself inside and out, it's going to reflect. When you take care of yourself on the inside, it reflects on your body, and it also reflects on your external world. Because the physical body is a physical representation of your subconscious mind. Many of us are overweight and obese and are filled with disease because we're not taking care of ourselves on the insides. We're not taking the time to spend time with ourselves. We're not taking the time to express ourselves. We're not taking the time to be ourselves. So when we don't do these things, we're neglecting ourselves. So we can't even truly be selfish in the right way. Any type of selfish that comes from a mindset when we're not taking care of ourselves is going to be more or less materialistic. It's going to be trying to get everything from outside of us. We're going to be draining the life force of those people around us because we're going to feel empty inside, and thus we're going to end up draining people. We become selfish in that way that we're just taking energy from other people. We want to bring them down to our level. We want to bring them down to our misery. Misery loves company. You become selfish for the wrong reasons. But when you take care of yourself, when you spend time with yourself, when you go into nature, when you meditate, when you're doing affirmations and you're working on yourself all the time, because in life we have to keep working on ourselves. We came here to express who we are. We came here to experience life in this form that we chose, in whatever place that you chose to be in, whatever place that you're in now. You are there to experience, to learn, to grow. But if you don't take care of yourself, you don't notice that. But when you do take care of yourself, you realize that's all you want to do. You want to be more of you. You want to find out, well, what would you do in this situation, in that situation, and you embrace life. You embrace the situations. You embrace the hardships. You embrace all of that. But you know that in order to do all that, you have to take care of yourself. You have to have enough energy to do so. But then you realize when you do that, and you have the energy, guess what? You can be yourself. You can help others, and you can do everything that you have imagined. And this is the path of least resistance. Taking care of yourself first, making sure that your glass is full before you fill up somebody else's glass. Because I know from experience, me myself, I would take care of people so much, but I'd never take care of myself. And I ended up being drained most of the time. I was so drained. I never knew what I wanted to do. I didn't know anything about myself, and I was just lost. I was just drifting, and my life was just passing me by. But now that I make sure to take care of myself, like if I want to say no, I say no. I had an issue growing up. When I was growing up, it was hard for me to say no. I'd always say yes. And even if that person had let me down before, I would say yes and yes and yes again. I would always go out of my way. But I would end up being drained. So we have to be selfish, and we have to take care of ourselves. And once you do it with love, once you're truly taking care of yourself, you're taking care of the right needs. Not the materialistic ones, but the ones from the inside. Because everything is mental. Everything is here. If you don't do the inner work, If you don't do the inner work, the outer work can never work. You're going to be doing way too much action that's not really inspired action. It really won't get you anywhere. But if you take care of yourself on the inside, you're making sure you're protecting your energy, you're constantly letting go, because life is all about letting go. You have to let go of things. You can't grow if you're too heavy. So you have to be continuously letting go. You got to be cleaning yourself out. You got to be making sure you're eating the right types of food. Make sure you're eating the right types of food. We're being selfish in a way right now. Like, we're trying to literally eat everything on the planet. We have fire now, so we're able to eat things that we normally would not be able to eat. And we're eating everything, including animals. We're eating animals, so we got to stop that. We got to be true to ourselves. We got to be selfish, selfish in the right way. And when you do this in a loving way, you do this in a loving manner, you're eating the right foods, you're in the right environment, you're surrounded by the right people, you're listening to the right kind of music, what happens is you realize your connection to it all. You realize that you are a part of it all. And you realize that whatever you do to yourself affects it all. We are so connected that it is crazy. We will never figure out how connected we are, but it's just that it's an infinite connection. It goes deep. It goes on and on and on. Like, the further you go into figuring out how connected we are, the deeper the rabbit hole goes. We will never really figure out life. But one thing is for sure, science has proven this. Once something is connected, it can never be disconnected. And at one point, everything that you see was connected, was one. Now it's just spread out, and it's expressing itself in infinite ways. In infinite ways. Like, we can't even imagine how many ways that, that life is expressing itself. Life is expressing itself as me, as you, as, as the grass, as the trees, as the sky. It's expression. So be selfish, take care of your energy, take care of yourself. The most important relationship is the one that you have with yourself, because everything that you do is a reflection of what you're doing to yourself, what you're thinking, because that's where it all comes from. It all comes from within you. Everything comes from within you. In fact, there is nothing bigger than you. There's nothing more important than you. In your life, there should be nothing more important than you. You go to bed with yourself, you're always with yourself. You're always constantly talking to yourself. So take care of that relationship. Take care of that relationship so that your other relationships can thrive. If you're constantly doing the inner work, you're asking yourself questions, and as you go through things, you're analyzing things, and you're finding things out about yourself, you're going to do the same things in all your other relationships. When you're at work with your coworkers, you'll do the same thing. You'll treat them right. You won't yell at them. You won't belittle them. You will listen to them, and you will help them. And in helping them, you help yourself. See, my relationship with others and my relationship with life just improved drastically once I started facing myself. Once I stopped running away from myself. Once I started facing my fears. Once I started bringing my darkness to the light. Once I started doing all of that, I started growing as a person. I started evolving. I started expanding. I started living. So let's be selfish. Let's take care of ourselves. Let's rekindle that relationship. Let's cultivate the love that we have within us, because that love is the most powerful thing. Love is the only reality. Fear is an illusion. We have been separated from ourselves. But to be honest with you, we can never truly be separate from something that we are. All there is, in all honesty, is you. All there is you. All there is love. So you always have that connection. We just kind of forget about it with all these distractions. So get away from the distractions and find yourself. You are what you have been looking for your whole life. You have been there. The truth has been in front of you. We've heard all these things before. The truth is right in front of you. Literally, life is literally reflecting you back at you. You want to know about yourself, you want to know what you need to do, just look around you. Just look around you, pay attention, be aware. Pay attention to yourself. You're always being reflected back at you. What you put out, you get back. That's how the universe works. So that's my video, guys. I hope you guys are becoming a little bit more selfish nowadays. Let's take care of ourselves. I know that we want to try to save everybody. I know we want to try to save everybody. Just trust me, I know this. And there's a lot of passion that comes from that. Like when I first went vegan, so much passion. I wanted to share with everybody. I was practically shoving it down their throat. But you know, I was doing all that, but I wasn't working on myself. I was getting angry at their responses. I was getting angry because they weren't doing this, they weren't doing that. I became a very controlling person, and I had to let go of that. I had to let go of that and just know that you cannot truly change anyone, but you can change yourself. You know, you can change yourself. Everybody has to change themselves. Everybody has to save themselves. All we can do is just reflect each other. So when you work on yourself and you improve, and you become love, you get closer to love. When you do that, whenever you meet somebody else, guess what you're going to reflect back at them? You're going to reflect back at them their higher self. You're going to reflect back at them love. You're going to reflect love back at them. You're going to pull out the best sides of them, because that's what you're focused on. That's what you're going to do for people. And that's all you got to do. Once you pull out their best version, they're going to feel so different around you. They're going to feel so much better around you. And they're going to want to know, like, they're going to want to be around you. And they're going to be craving, they're going to want to know how you're doing it. How is your energy so high? Why do I feel so good around you? What's your secret? And that's it. So just be love, and others will magically just come to you. The law of attraction. So if you like this video, hit the like button below. Subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one if you have not already. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.